green juice.
Exactly. It frames your bad decision as your truth, which, conveniently puts it beyond any criticism.
Okay, so I want to try something. I want to role play a scenario that I think every single person listening has probably been on both sides of.
Okay, I'm ready. Set the scene.
All right, so we're at a coffee shop. We're good friends. And I lean in, I look you dead in the eye. I have this wild energy. And I say, I've made a huge decision. I am quitting my stable 6-figure marketing job tomorrow.
Whoa, okay, that's a big move.
Yeah, I'm cashing out my 401k, I'm burning the whole corporate bridge to the ground, and I'm going to start a niche business knitting artisanal sweaters for hairless cats.
Right, well, you do you, I guess.
Okay, stop. Scene. Now, why did that feel like you just slapped me in the face?
Because, I kind of did. Verbally, anyway.
But the words you used were you do you. Technically, by the dictionary definition, that's permission. It means be yourself, follow your heart. So why did my stomach just completely drop?
Because we're not dealing with the dictionary today. We're dealing with subtext.
Yeah.
And in that specific context, where you're proposing something that is, let's say, high risk and a little absurd, you do you, is basically a slur.
A slur. Wow.
It translates to, I think this is a complete disaster, but I honestly don't have the energy to stop you.
It's the sound of a friend just washing their hands of your fate.
Exactly. So welcome to the deep dive. Today we are unpacking what we're calling the passive-aggressive lexicon. We've been looking into all this research on how Americans in particular have sort of perfected this vocabulary of dismissal that just masquerades as support.
And the goal here isn't just to make everyone listening paranoid about their friends. It's to figure out why we do this. Because I was reading through this stuff and I realized, oh my God, I do this. You do you people. I've definitely done it to my younger brother.
Oh, we all have.
Yeah.
And it all seems to point back to one very specific psychological driver, conflict avoidance.
Right, because looking at me in that coffee shop and just saying that cat sweater idea is going to bankrupt you and you're being manic, that feels rude.
It feels aggressive. And a lot of people, especially in American culture, are just allergic to that kind of direct aggression. So instead, we use what linguists might call plausible deniability.
Okay, that's the key term right there. Plausible deniability.
Think about it. If you got mad at me in that role play for saying you do you, I can immediately gaslight you. I can gasp and say, what? I was being supportive. I just said, be yourself. Why are you attacking me?
It's a trapdoor. You can just escape the accusation of being unsupportive even though you offered zero actual support.
Precisely. And it also touches on this other idea, emotional labor reduction. Arguing with you about your bad business idea takes work. It takes actual emotional investment. I have to care enough to fight you on it.
So you do you is actually it's an efficiency hack. It's a polite exit strategy.
It's the verbal equivalent of a shrug. It says, I am checking out of this conversation and this responsibility. The consequences, they are now entirely yours.
Okay, so that's the mechanism. Fear of conflict plus maybe a little bit of laziness equals fake support. So let's get into the phrase book. We've got a whole list of these. We've covered you do you. What's the next offender on the list?
This next one is so subtle, but it is just devastating. If that works for you, or, its cousin, to each their own.
Oof. If that works for you, that just feels so judgmental. But wait, let me play devil's advocate. Isn't that just acknowledging that, people are different?
Let's test it. Tell me a habit you have that's a little bit outside the norm. Maybe something you're a little defensive about.
Okay, I eat pizza with a fork and knife, even the thin crust kind. I hate getting grease on my hands.
Well, if that works for you.
Yeah, see? Ugh. I immediately feel like a freak. I feel like you're looking at me like I'm some kind of alien.
Because the decoder ring translation of that is, that would not work for normal people. But, okay, it implies that your standard is just, subpar.
It dismisses the choice while pretending to accept it. It's different from you do you, because you do you is about a big decision. But if that works for you is usually about, taste or a weird behavior.
Exactly. It's a taste judgment. To each their own is the ultimate way to say, your taste is objectively terrible, but I am way too polite to say that to your face.
Yeah.
It's basically saying, I tolerate your bad taste.
Okay, now what about this one? This one seems, on paper, genuinely positive, whatever makes you happy.
Ah, yes. the relationship killer.
Really, that feels like a reach. If I tell my partner, hey, I want to paint the living room bright purple, and they say, whatever makes you happy, isn't that just them giving me the reins?
No, it's them dropping the reins. If you were debating a life choice with a partner or a parent and they end the conversation with whatever makes you happy, that is not a blessing. That is an abdication.
It's resignation.
It translates to, I do not think this will make you happy. In fact, I am pretty sure this is going to end in tears, but I am stepping back and I'm just going to let you crash.
So it's like watching a toddler try to carry a gallon of milk across the room. You're just like, whatever makes you happy, kid, and then splash.
Exactly. It's so different from real support, which involves engagement. True support might say, purple, huh? That's a bold choice. Let's look at some paint swatches together. This is just disengagement wrapped in a smile.
Speaking of things wrapped in smiles, let's talk about the word brave.
Oh, that's brave. This is a very dangerous one.
Because context is everything here, right? If I run into a burning building to save a puppy and you call me brave, that's a compliment. I want to be called brave.
Of course. In a high-stakes physical scenario, brave is good. But in social scenarios, in the passive-aggressive lexicon, brave is almost always a euphemism for you are breaking a social rule.
Okay, give me an example where brave is actually an insult.
All right, let's say you tell me I'm going to wear a neon green spandex jumpsuit to my big board meeting presentation tomorrow. And I just look at you and I say, wow, that's brave.
You're calling me an idiot.
I'm saying you are about to socially humiliate yourself, and I am shocked that you don't have the self-awareness to see it. It basically means risky or stupid or even embarrassing. But again, plausible deniability. I called you brave. How can you be mad at a compliment?
It's fascinating how we weaponize virtues. Bravery, happiness, autonomy. We use the actual words for virtues to signal that they're totally absent.
It's pretty sophisticated, honestly. It lets social harmony just continue on uninterrupted, even though we're all just silently judging each other.
I want to pivot now to the workplace. Because the stakes really change when money and hierarchy get involved. You can't just walk up to your boss and say, you do you.
No, you definitely cannot do that.
No, you definitely should not do that. But the dynamic is still there. There's a phrase in our notes that's called the patronizing trap.
Good for you.
It sounds so bitter when you say it like that. Well, the pitch is everything. But think about when it gets used. If we're peers and you get the promotion that I wanted and I just turn to you and say, hey, good for you.
It creates this immediate distance between us.
It positions the speaker as separate from and usually superior to the listener. It's often used to mask jealousy or, in other contexts, to signal that an achievement is cute, but not really significant.
Right, like if you told me you finally cleaned out your garage, oh, good for you, just a pat on the head.
But there is one workplace phrase that is actually dangerous, like career-ending dangerous. The research calls it the boss maneuver, and the phrase is, do what you think is best.
If you hear this from a supervisor, warning lights should be flashing. Red alert. Seriously.
But why? It sounds like they're giving me ownership. It sounds like empowerment. Hey, I trust you. Do what you think is best.
No. If a boss actually supports your idea, they'll say something like, let's do it, or I'm on board, or I'll back you up on this.
So do what you think is best creates this paper trail of isolation.
Exactly. It means, I think you were wrong. I think this plan is going to fail. And I'm not going to forbid it, but when it blows up, I will point right back to this moment and say, I told them to use their own judgment.
That is absolutely brutal. It's a setup.
It's corporate survival 101. It's a total liability shift. If it works, I allowed it. If it fails, you chose it.
Okay, so we've established this as kind of a national pastime. But the research also points out that how we do this really depends on where we are, the regional flavors of passive aggression.
Oh, absolutely. The American map is basically a patchwork of different dismissal styles.
All right, let's take a quick tour. The South.
The South is the undisputed master of the sugar-coated dagger. I mean, you can't even talk about this without mentioning Bless Your Heart.
It's a classic, of course.
But you do you in the South is delivered with such sweetness. Well, bless your heart, you just do you. It sounds like a warm hug, but it's a judgment on your immortal soul. It frames your stupidity as something to be pitied, not scolded.
It's like being stabbed with a marshmallow. So contrast that with, say, the Northeast, New York, Boston.
Generally speaking, they have much less use for these kinds of ambiguous phrases. If a New Yorker thinks your business idea is bad, they'll often just say, that's a terrible idea, don't do that. You're going to lose all your money.
Which, ironically, is probably more supportive.
It is. It's honest engagement. You actually know where you stand. There's no guessing game. They respect you enough to try and save you from yourself.
And then we've got the Midwest.
The passive-aggressive capital of the world. Midwest. Nice. The phrase, "if that works for you," is practically the regional motto. It is so difficult to penetrate that layer of polite smiling to find out what they're actually thinking. The goal there is just to never make anyone feel uncomfortable, even if they're about to drive off a cliff.
And finally, the West Coast, California.
So the West Coast wraps everything in this kind of wellness language. It's therapeutic. So instead of "you do you," it's more like, "I just want you to honor your journey."
Honor your journey. That sounds so nice. I want to honor my journey.
It means the exact same thing. It means you are completely lost, but I am not going to help you find the map.
So it's the same dismissal, it's just wearing yoga pants and holding a green juice.
Exactly. It frames your bad decision as your truth, which, conveniently puts it beyond any criticism.
So what about the generational aspect? Because I feel like my generation, millennials, we are the heavy lifters here. We love a good you do you.
The data really does support that. Millennials tend to be highly conflict avoidant. This is the generation that popularized things like adulting and self-care, and they also popularized using "you do you" to duck out of hard conversations.
We just want everyone to get along. We were raised on participation trophies and group projects.
But maybe at the cost of clarity.
Mm.
Boomers, by contrast, are way less likely to fake it. They'll just give you the advice you didn't ask for. Get a real job. You should cut your hair.
And Gen Z.
They are fascinating. It's like the pendulum is swinging all the way back. Gen Z is surprisingly direct. They're much more likely to just look at you and say, "That's cringe."
That's cringe. I mean, there is no ambiguity there.
None whatsoever. It's a direct judgment. It's brutal, but it's honest. It really signals a return to a more direct, almost northeastern style of communication, but on a huge digital scale.
Okay, so we've decoded the language. We know the regional dialects. But the burning question for everyone listening is, how do I know? Because sometimes I do mean good for you. Sometimes I really do want someone to be brave. How do we stop being paranoid?
This is the crucial part, right? How do you decode the actual intent? It's not just the words, it's all the metadata around them.
Right. I mean, tone and body language obviously play a huge role.
Huge. Is the smile in their eyes, or is it just their mouth? A tight smile with a shrug is the dead giveaway of dismissal. But the research points to one specific method that is almost foolproof.
The follow-up test.
This is the golden rule. Genuine support involves curiosity.
Okay, explain that. Walk me through it.
Okay, so let's go back to the cat sweaters. If I say, "Wow, a hairless cat sweater business, good for you," and then I just stop talking and look at my phone, that's fake.
Because you've closed the loop. You signaled the end of the topic right there.
Right. But if I say, "Good for you," wow, how did you even come up with that? Have you found a location? What's the market for Sphinx caps even like? The engagement proves the support. Real support asks questions. Fake support just drops the topic.
That is such a simple, useful tool. Does the conversation continue? If yes, it's probably real. If no, it was just an exit strategy.
Exactly. Curiosity cannot be faked easily. Dismissal requires silence.
Okay, so let's get practical. I've just told you my big crazy plan. You hit me with the, well, if that works for you, I know what you're doing. How do I respond without, flipping the table or ruining the friendship?
You have options. So option one is to call it out, but gently. You bring the subtext to the surface.
So, do you think I'm making a mistake or something?
Right. You sound a little skeptical. Do you think there's something I'm missing? This forces them to either be honest and say, "Yeah, I think it's a bit risky," or they have to double down on the fake support. It calls their bluff.
It forces engagement. I like that. It makes them do the emotional labor they were trying to avoid in the first place.
Option two is what I call taking it at face value. You just kill them with kindness. You refuse to hear the sarcasm.
So they say, well, if that works for you, then I say.
You say, "It does work for me. Thanks so much for understanding. I really appreciate your support on this."
That's a power move. You're taking their passive-aggressive exit and forcing it to be a genuine endorsement.
It denies them the satisfaction of throwing shade. You are choosing to interpret them as a supportive friend, which kind of boxes them into actually being one.
And for the workplace.
Yeah.
When the boss hits you with, do what you think is best.
You absolutely have to close the liability loop. You cannot just walk away. You say, "I think this is the best path forward, but I want to make sure we're aligned. Do you have any concerns before I proceed?"
Put the ball right back in their court.
Make them state the objection or give a real endorsement. Don't accept that gray area. And if they refuse to answer, You send a follow-up email summarizing the conversation. Per our discussion, I am proceeding with Plan X, as we discussed.
Documentation. The ultimate antidote to passive aggression.
Indeed.
To wrap this up, I think we have to flip the mirror around. Because we've spent this whole time analyzing other people. But if we hate hearing these phrases, we probably need to stop using them ourselves.
Yeah, this is the hard part, isn't it? Because sometimes you really are tired. You really don't want to argue about the cat sweaters. You just want to drink your coffee.
So what should we do? If I think my friend is making a huge mistake, but I just don't have the energy for a fight, is it better to just lie?
You can be honest about your capacity without being fake supportive.
Okay, give me a script. What does that sound like?
Something like, wow, that sounds like a huge undertaking. I'm honestly too drained right now to give it the thought it deserves, but I am wishing you the best of luck.
That's way better than you do you.
Or if you do have the energy, you can just engage. I'm a little worried about this idea, but I want to support you. That is such a powerful sentence. I am worried, but I support you.
And I think that's the real takeaway from all this, isn't it? True support isn't a catchphrase, it's actual work.
It's engagement. Passive aggression is the refusal to engage while just pretending to care.
So, maybe a challenge for everyone listening. The next time you're about to drop a whatever makes you happy, just pause. Ask yourself, am I actually supporting this person or am I just trying to leave the room?
And if you're just trying to leave the room, maybe just say goodbye.
Honesty. What a concept. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Hopefully it works for you.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Couldn't resist. We'll see you next time.